Hi everyone, my name is Tamara Lana and I am the Executive Director of FabCollab and the co-host of our interview series, Curtain Call, which happens every week since November 2020 with a different woman artist, on, off stage, behind the scenes, visual artist, someone who works in the industry, and every week is a different person. This week we are featuring Rachel Crummey. Hey Rachel. She is an incredible painter and visual artist and writer. She's won various awards and very interestingly also works with mushrooms to grow paintings. So we're going to get into that and I'm going to bring her right on here. Here we are. And thanks for joining. How's everybody doing? And we're just bringing Rachel on right now. And I'm in a park. It's so beautiful out. I just wanted to sit here and enjoy. Oh, hi, Rachel.
Hello. Great to see you.
So great to see you. How are you?
I'm good. I feel like I have sunscreen on my nose. I didn't do
Oh
like
my
a
God, why are
mirror
you so
check.
cute?
That's okay.
Oh my God. That's not a
Where are
bad thing.
you?
Oh my God, I'm
Are you in
like,
a park?
yeah, I'm in a park. I'm in the East
Oh.
End. I'm sitting on the ground. Oh, hi, Battleton. Hi, everybody. And there's this rock that says spirit on it.
Ooh,
So
I like that.
I was like, I'm going to sit right here. That looks like a good idea. I was with my
Totally.
dad this
Yeah.
morning and his friend Jimmy Dick, a very respected, and his wife Marie, two elders in the community, and
Yeah, yeah.
they live around here. So yeah, here we are. Where are you?
Amazing. Cool. Good spot. I'm
It is.
great. Yeah, I just got to the studio. I had a massage at 10 and it went a little late. So I was like, ooh, like kind of rushing to get things ready, but everything's up. There's lots to look at.
I'm so
And yeah,
stoked.
feeling good, feeling relaxed
Hi,
and happy
Rachel.
to be here. Yeah, thanks for inviting me. What a cool opportunity.
Thanks for saying yes and agreeing to take the time. I'm stoked. So I'm just going to say, for those of you who don't know Rachel, well, now you do, and you should follow her immediately. But she's an awesome, well, she's such a cool person, but she's also a beautiful artist. And I've just been looking through some of your work and reading some stuff about you. Oh my God, you're so
Mm,
accomplished and you've done so many cool things. Painter, writer, do you
mm.
sculpt as well? Did I see that?
No, I'm not. I mean, the reishi is sort of a sculpture
Got it.
because it grows in 3 dimensions, but no, I'm more of a two-dimensional person. That's where my brain is happiest.
I don't think you're two-dimensional at all.
I don't mean my personality, I just mean my work.
Yeah, I think you're like seven-dimensional.
Ooh, yeah.
Is
I
that a
mean, we all
thing?
are, really, but yeah. I think, oh
Ole.
yeah. Multiverses, yeah, definitely
Multiverse.
a thing.
Definitely. So, I mean, I was gonna say this at the end, but it's right behind you. So, can you just tell us like right away what that is behind you,
Yeah, for sure,
please?
for sure.
I'm dying
So
to
behind
talk
me
about this.
there's a bunch of panels that are grown from reishi. So actually, why don't I just flip the camera around for a sec so I can
Yeah.
give you like a close up here. This is my workspace.
Oh my God.
So these are all, okay, so this is I'm just going to jump right in. This is
Yeah.
Baker's Secret. So it's a baking tray that's filled with substrate. I'll get into the technicalities of like how it's done, but basically it's a living reishi mushroom that's like growing out of this aluminum tray. So it's starting to sporulate. That's what that brown dust is. That's like how it reproduces. This is the actual. So I work a lot with a particular kind of mushroom called reishi. It's a medicinal, it's renowned in Asia. It's been used for thousands of years as medicine. And this is what it looks like. It's so beautiful.
Wow.
So this is what I mean by a sculptural object. Like
Yeah.
this is the fruiting body, this brown
Looks
kind
like a
of.
robot. Like the opposite of
That's
a mushroom.
hilarious. Yeah, right? It's pretty strange. It was growing in my house for about 6 months, and then I transferred it to my studio. But yeah, and then behind me, so there's another reishi guy there. I'll just show you these panels because that's what
Wait,
you were
wait, can we
asking about.
pause? Wait, where do you get reishi from?
Reishi, you can get it from multiple sources. So if you're interested in growing just medicinal reishi yourself, you can go to, there's a place called Grow Mushrooms Canada, which will like just mail you a block of reishi mycelium, and then you can fruit it yourself. It's really easy. You put it in a dish of water. All it needs is a bit of humidity and a bit of light, and then it'll just grow. And then when it's ready, you just harvest the mushroom and you can turn it into tea, or you can dry it, powder it, take it,
what is it
as
used
medicine.
for? Do you know?
It's used for, it's known as an adaptogen. So if your immune system is overactive, it will help calm it. And if it's kind of sluggish, it will stimulate it. It produces like over 100 different compounds that scientists are still figuring out what they are and how they work.
Wow.
But yeah, it's been used traditionally for a very, very long time. And only recently, they've started to do studies on its impact on the immune system. And I think it also has an impact on circulation. But yeah, very, very powerful. It's known as the mushroom of immortality in Asia. So there you go.
I'm down.
That's legit. That's super legit.
Wow.
Yeah.
They should serve that at bars on King Street instead of alcohol.
100%. Right?
Immortality?
Also, totally. Or like just give people a little reishi tincture shot, before they start their night. Be like, okay, guys, here's what you need,
I see a new business sprouting, just saying. All right. Sorry, I interrupted you. What are the panels?
That's good. Yeah, so these panels are, I'm considering them paintings, basically, but they're hemp mixed with reishi mycelium. And the brown that you see is the mushroom, I think, starting to fruit. Wow. So like at the edges here, you can kind of see it's starting to fruit. Yeah, so I grew these in these plexiglass molds. It's a mixture of burlap and hemp substrate, and then I get the reishi mycelium mailed to me. Okay. And then I mix it all together, and it grows. While it's growing, it's moist, alive, smells like mushroom, and it kind of consumes the hemp. And then as it dries out, it produces this kind of thick, dry, dense material that is, very resilient and very stable. If it's wet again, it could kind of reanimate and start to grow potentially. But what really interested me were these color gradients and these textures. I thought that those were super beautiful, and so I wanted to try making essentially paintings out of this living material. Why?
How did you think of that? Like, what occurred to you? You're like, you know what? You're like walking in Muskoka. You're like, you know what? It'd be really cool. Have a painting out of you.
Yeah. Well, that is an interesting and kind of mycelial story.
Mycelial story. Please tell us.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's a few different threads here. So one was a book that I read by Merlin Sheldrake called Entangled Life, which is all about the realm of fungi in general. It's a huge kingdom/queendom of life. It includes yeast, rust, molds, everything we ferment. Yeah.
I didn't know it included rust.
I know. Yeah, it's pretty wild. So
think about that one for a couple of years. Hold on, we'll get back to that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So that book kind of really intrigued me and piqued my interest. And then separately from that, I was at a show at Brothers Dressler, which is this wood shop in Toronto, and they were hosting music shows pre-pandemic. And I saw this panel, and it was like a big, I want to say, pentagon or maybe hexagon. And I was like, what the hell is this thing? Like, it kind of looks like paper, but it's not. It's thick, it's textured, it's really beautiful. And my partner was like, I think that's mycelium. And I was like, what is mycelium? And then that led me down this whole journey of discovering mushrooms, mycelium, this whole realm. And then I think too, another thread is that the material itself kind of seduced me. Like I saw it and I felt like an immediate affinity. Like I didn't understand why. It wasn't fully rational. I was just like, I love this and I need to know
Oh my
everything
God,
about
you
it.
fell in love. It was love at first sight.
It kind of was, you know? It kind of was.
Do you sing to it and write up poetry?
Yeah, I actually do.
Yes, I knew it. I knew it. It's amazing. I'm dying to
Yeah,
ask you to read.
yeah.
I really want to ask you to read. Okay, maybe if we get to it and you feel like it, you can read us a poem that you've written to the mycelium.
I can read you a poem that the mycelium kind of wrote.
Whoa! Yes,
We'll
please.
get there. We'll get
Okay, we'll
there.
get there. We'll get there. They'll tell us when.
Yeah, but yeah, so those were kind of
That's
the
the
things that,
gold answer. That's
yeah,
a good
they'll
answer.
tell us when. That's it. Yeah. So yeah,
Okay,
okay.
so you were immediately attracted. And then what's like the first thing that you did with them?
Mm. First thing I did was make a giant mess in my kitchen and try and grow mycelium DIY, which you can try and do, but it's like turns out it's a very technical and almost like scientific process.
Makes sense.
So like I had a food processor going and I was trying to cut straw really small and I left a bunch of it in a cupboard above my fridge and we went away on vacation and my parents were like, oh my God, you're going to come back and there's going to be this like blob of mycelium everywhere. I got back, it was fine. It actually didn't get contaminated. I was using blue oyster mushrooms, which are fast growing and like pretty resilient. But yeah, I just ended up with a bunch of weird blobby things that ended up in my garden and I just composted them.
Right, that happens. For those people joining, we're talking about how Rachel creates paintings out of living mycelium mushrooms. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty badass. Those are the paintings you see behind her. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, good to bring it back to that
Yeah.
context.
Like if somebody's joining, like, what are you talking about? Yeah. So
Yeah.
has it kind of like become your main art form right now, or what else are you working on? Tell us more.
I will say that it I guess I'll finish the whole narrative of like, so I got obsessed with
Please.
it and then I ended up deciding, okay, this is something I'm really interested in, but I need support. I can't obviously do this in my kitchen. So I wrote a grant and I got a Canada Council grant to research fungi and improvisation.
What?
So yeah, so those were kind of this is where it touches my art practice. And
Got
I'll
it.
just flip around here a little bit. So
Wow.
the background is as a abstract painter drawer. So these are some of the paintings that I have going right now. So they're on unstretched canvas. You know,
Wow.
they're very pattern based, very layered. You know, working with color and kind of thinking about them a bit as like tapestries, I guess.
Wow.
And so I was kind of in that realm before I started working with fungi. Oh, actually, this is a painting that was digested by fungi.
What? Oh my God, Rachel.
So this is
I
like
love
a
this.
fragment of a painting that I layered with hemp and blue oyster. And so the painting then, this kind of white film that you see on top, that's the
Yeah.
dried out kind of fungus.
Wow.
So yeah, so it, you know, my background was in improvisational, you know, abstraction, working mostly with painting and drawing. And it felt to me like that was becoming a little stale. I needed some new energy. I wasn't sure where to go with it. And I just got so excited about the possibility of working with mycelium. And I could see its potential as an art material because it, though it's alive, when it dries out, it does become quite stable and resilient and
Right.
is being used for different applications right now, like leathers and
Wow.
housing insulation. They're trying to replace styrofoam packaging with it. So I
Really?
knew that it had, yeah, like apparently Ikea is considering
Oh my
swapping
God.
styrofoam. Yeah, yeah.
So wait, I'm just
There's
gonna
this,
repeat that. IKEA is considering swapping styrofoam for mushroom. Like
yeah,
grow.
yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah, yeah. It's wild. I don't know if it's confirmed or not, but for those who are interested, there's a company called Ecovative in the US that's doing like really cutting edge kind of industrial research about this material that's much larger scale and much more like technical than what I'm doing, which is more poetic, you know, art exploration. But yeah, so it's super legit. And reishi, for some reason, the mycelium of reishi is very, very strong and adapted to these different, you know, purposes. So part of me, like, I don't think this is accidental that like humans are suddenly getting super interested in fungi and working with this species. Like, we've got a problem in terms of like our planet and our waste, and we're trashing things. And here is a species that is ancient, has been around since, you know, basically since like we crawled out of the oceans, and is really adapted to detoxifying and to recycling and transforming, you know, different materials. So it makes sense. It's like, right, we have something to learn, you know, let's pay attention.
So you're telling me mushrooms are going to save the world? That's what I'm hearing.
No, not quite. Not quite.
They
like,
have the
I
potential to help.
You know, I guess, you know, I don't want to go into like save the world kind of narratives, because I'm like, I think it's too involved, you know, like I'm like, I think that we have a lot to learn from fungi, and even if we perish, like fungi will still be around, and they're still going to do their work and recycle and like transform and detox. But we should really, like, I want to stick around. I want humans to make it. So let's work with, you know, our fungal friends and allies, and, you know, help kind of transform some of these like pretty intense issues that we've created. So yeah, there is definitely that in the background. I don't think that my own project is like saving the world in any sense, but I do think I've learned a lot, and I'm seeing things differently after like working with fungi this much.
Well, it could be contributing in a small or big way to sort of the human movement towards that, like towards working with, you know, because I've been hearing more and more people talk about, nobody used to talk about mushrooms at all. And I've just been hearing it more and more, like popping up in various conversations and ways and art forms. And now you're telling me Ikea, like, you know, it's just surging, I guess.
It is.
It's very interesting. It's fruiting like a mushroom.
It is very mycelial. It's been this like underground, invisible, kind of not super recognized, but very vital component of ecosystems and life, really. And science is finally catching up with it. Like, we have the categories of flora and fauna, and some are arguing we should have a third fungi category because it's that vast and important, you know. But yeah, we're catching up to it, and I don't think that's coincidental. Yeah.
Cool. There's so much food for thought there.
Yeah. So that's big picture, but like nitty gritty, growing fungi can be really annoying.
Why?
Because it's very particular. It's very particular. You got to wear gloves. You got to sterilize everything. It involves a lot of plastic. Like, I'm wrapping, sealing everything in plastic to keep the moisture in, to keep microbes out. So there's definitely a contradiction there. Like, I'm like, ooh, like I'm creating a lot of waste in this process.
But what does it do in the ground? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, totally. I know. In the wild, like fungi, you know, have developed ways to kind of interact with their ecosystems. And that's partly why I think they have such amazing chemical pharmacies, because they are in the ground competing and also working with, collaborating, you know, with all of these creatures and microbes and things like that. But most fungi you cannot cultivate. Like, if you take them out of their life worlds, they just doesn't work.
Interesting.
But there's a few species like reishi and blue oysters that can. But you do have to be really careful with contamination. Because essentially I'm feeding them, you know, so that they'll grow. And if something else is interested in that food and gets there first, then I won't have my reishi, you know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's not the reishi won't be very happy. So yeah, it's very technical and kind of sciencey, and that was a challenge for me as like an improvisational painter who's like, I'm just gonna start something and see where it goes. I have to really plan,
Whoa.
plan this out, and it has to be very rhythmic, like kind of like fermentation. Like I'll do a big batch and then it sits here for a week and then I check on it and then I'm checking on it every day to check on the growth. And then
Wow.
I'm arresting it, at the point where I'm like, okay, this is the moment. Now I'm going to dry it out. So it's very time based and like kind of sensitive.
So does that change like your whole
Okay.
like life, basically, like your daily
Yes,
flow and how you
it does.
structure? Are you more organized now? Like, how does it change you?
I mean, what it does is, so for example, I have a bunch of reishi grain spawn that I ordered from this place in Alberta. If anyone's interested, Fungi Aquafo has great grain spawn. And it's
Fungi
really different.
Aquafo.
Yeah, but it's sitting in my fridge because I want it to stay dormant until I'm actually ready to use it. And I
Okay.
have about a month, but like I'm going away and I'm like, okay,
Right.
I can't do this. I can't start something and then leave for a week. Like I have to be here for at least like 3 weeks
Yeah. Wow.
to kind of go through the
It's
full
like a baby.
process.
You
So
have to
yeah,
plan. Or like a dog.
yeah, it's a living creature. It has its needs. I can't just like neglect it.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, it is very different than painting, which I can leave for a year and come back to. And then
Are you still painting?
yeah, I am. Yeah. Yeah, so the paintings I just showed you on the
Right.
wall, those ones are pretty recent. This one is pretty recent. So, like, I guess when I first started doing this, I wasn't painting because it was so much work just to learn how to grow this, material and what it needed. And there's, pretty steep learning curve there. So then after about 6 or 8 months of that, then I got into a rhythm of it. So, once this is dormant or like in between stages, then I go back to painting.
So it's
And
really
I
become a part of
found,
your life.
sorry?
It's really just become like a part of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so beautiful.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, like, are you a fermenter? Do you ferment anything? No. A lot of people got into sourdough during the pandemic.
No,
In a way, it
I
was the
created
rhythm.
FabCollab, this arts
Yeah, I
organization.
mean that's also fermentation. That's like cultural
Okay,
fermentation
I'll take
right
it.
there.
True, true, true. But like objects, like things, I have a hard time like remembering about like ideas and art and music. It's like predominant in my mind. But like I had like kombucha for a while, but I just like forgot about it and like grew like insane, like out of control. And I was like, oh yeah, I can't. So I'm thinking about all these other things all the time. I think that I forget to like look at what's right in front of me. So,
Yeah,
I mean, maybe that's
yeah.
a good practice. Maybe I should grow mushrooms and refocus.
I mean, I think everyone has like things that have affinities to, and for some reason, like I had a real affinity with fermentation. I was really drawn to sourdough and kombucha, although I do have a neglected kombucha mother in my cupboard right now. That's like been like a month. I think it's just turning into vinegar though, which is fine.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but yeah, I think now that I've kind of learned the ropes of how to grow this material and kind of like figured out the rhythm and also the supplies that I need. Now I'm at a point where I can kind of start to experiment a bit more and then kind of get more into the nuances of color, texture.
So
Like
cool.
I want the vision is to create large scale paintings.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, what's your next, where do you want to go with it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple different directions that are percolating. So one, like you see behind me, these panels, I want to keep going with that.
Yeah, those are
And
cool.
just kind of refine the colors, refine the textures. The interesting thing, one of the interesting things about mycelium is that it's very sound absorbent. So they're also using it as
like
like
sound
acoustic
panels.
sampling. Yeah. So
Oh my God, that's so cool.
in this vision, there's like a gallery hung with these large reishi panels, and then there's performances. So there's music happening in the space, so that there's,
Wait, what? Yeah, let's
yeah,
do that.
yeah, right?
No,
Yeah,
that's amazing. Oh my
yeah,
God.
because there is this connection with mycelium and sound. So it absorbs sound, and when it's alive, it actually I don't know, there's these Instagram accounts that they put, I don't know how I feel about this. It's a bit weird, but it's called biosonification. They put like little needles in the living mycelium, and then they put it through a Moog like synthesizer, and it plays the music. It plays the electrical impulses of the mycelium and turns it into music.
Whoa.
So,
Whoa.
like,
I mean, it's kind of like acupuncture for them. Maybe it's nice.
yeah, maybe it is like that. Yeah. Yeah, it could be. Like, part of me is like, is this an invasion of this like being's interiority? Like, are we like imagine if someone like put something in your body and then like broadcasted it?
I mean,
And then
depends if they have consented or not. How do you get their consent?
yeah, this is the question. I don't know. What does that look like?
It's like grow to the right if you're going to be okay with this in a month. Grow to the left if you're not down.
Right? Right. I think there are ways of asking, but I think that's yeah, that's something that I also wrestled with, you know, and that I still do with this project is like, who is it for? Is this, you know, a reciprocal relationship? What's the fungi getting out of the deal? You know?
They're getting fed. Room and board.
Yeah.
They get room and board.
They get room and board.
But do you ever like just eat a little bit while you're working? It's like, oh, I don't want it to grow in that direction. Eat a piece.
I mean, reishi's not that tasty because it's
see. You could make
so
a
it's
tea.
very tough and kind of bitter. Yeah, I probably will make tea though with some of these. Now I have a lot of like fruiting bodies around. So
can you show us those fruiting bodies again, just for those of you joining?
Yeah, for sure. The fruiting bodies are very cool. So yeah, just to, in case anyone's not familiar, like the mycelium, oopsies, is sorry, there we go. The mycelium is kind of like the root structure of a plant. So it's this very thin web of what are called hyphae. And so that's how the fungus, that's kind of its main life cycle is as mycelium. And then when the conditions are right, it starts to fruit. So that's when the mushroom actually appears, is at that stage. So these weird brown blobby things are mushrooms that have fruited. So you can kind of see, it's covered in spores.
Wow.
But you can see like underneath. Yeah, so it's releasing spores from underneath. And the spore is how it reproduces. So yeah, like this guy was mailed to me by Grow Mushrooms Canada as a sawdust block, medicinal mushroom block.
Man, that thing is so trippy. It looks like something out of Star Wars, I swear to God.
Yeah,
it's like
totally
wild.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, fungi, some people, there is a theory that fungi came to Earth from outer space.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
That they like hitched a ride on an asteroid or something, but it's pretty controversial. But yeah, they do look very alienish. Yeah, so yeah, but they're quite beautiful too, I find.
They are very beautiful.
You know, it's probably an acquired taste, but I really love the weirdness of them and
they're gorgeous.
Just the color gradients. Yeah,
I love
this is another fruiting body.
So yeah, you want to make like big, large scale works with them?
Yeah, exactly. So the plan is to scale up and then create larger scale works. And then the other piece of this is that I've started collaborating with an artist in Montreal. Her name is Tara Dugans, and she's a ceramic artist. So it seemed to me like this mushroom, this material, really also wanted to go in 3 dimensions. So we're going to create kind of sculptural works with the reishi.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so she's going to create like a ceramic vessel, and then I'm going to fill it with grain spawn, reishi substrate, and then we're going to seal it up. The reishi is going to kind of fruit in and around the ceramic vessel. So there's going to be hopefully a really interesting joining of the.
That's so cool. When are you starting that?
The reishi. We're starting. I mean, we're meeting today actually, so we're kind of it's already in motion. But I think Yeah, thanks. It's very exciting. I think it's going to be a longer term
Yeah,
process.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
probably we'll have these in like a year or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really love this idea. There's something about the fruiting body itself actually that does remind me of ceramic, just the
Mm-hmm.
texture of it. Um, so yeah, I think it'll be an interesting combo. So
God, I
yeah, we
can't
got
wait to see.
reishi paintings, ceramic, reishi sculptures,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah,
Do you teach anybody
I
how to do this? Or do you want to?
not yet. I would love to.
Like a workshop? That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
so I guess the vision is that this when this is presented, it'll be something of a symposium.
Mm.
So kind of bringing, different folks around this idea of kind of collaboration with other species and improvisation, kind of bringing these two realms together.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, having some workshops,
Mm-hmm.
how do you grow you can
Mm-hmm.
grow oyster mushrooms at home.
Mm-hmm.
You can grow them on coffee grounds and cardboard. It really doesn't take like fancy materials.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, and then, hopefully some performances and things like that.
Okay,
So
let
kind
us
of a
know. We can
celebration
help.
of the fungal realm. Yeah,
Let
I
us
would
know
love
how
to
it can
to
be so cool.
yeah,
I'm so
yeah.
down. Uh, what else? Are you still writing? What else are you working on these days?
Oh, maybe this is the moment
Is
for
this the
the
moment?
this could be the moment. Yeah. Yeah. So I have been, I'm still writing. I write poetry sometimes. And a big part of this research has been just reading everything I can about fungi. And oh, I forgot to mention this. Yeah. Another friend of mine, Sky, who's based in Calgary, she works with silkscreen and she mixes her own inks out of discarded materials. So she's
Mm.
making ink out of turmeric and ink out of, like used like Xerox cartridges, like that toner ink.
Oh, cool.
Anyway,
Great. I'm
and
glad
she's,
somebody's using that.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, and we've had a bunch of conversations about fungi, and so yeah, we're gonna be doing something together as well to do with
Mm.
silkscreen, I think.
Cool. All these
But
collaborations.
yeah, so she
See, you're
was here
spreading like the mushrooms and coming up in different other art forms. I know you know
exactly.
that, but I'm just saying that because I feel
No,
like I just discovered it.
yeah, you gotta bring it full circle. Yeah, for sure.
Oh my
This is
God.
it. This is the fungal way. So.
The fungal way. I love that.
um, Yeah, so that's really exciting. But she was here last week and just read me some words that had stood out to her from some of the fungal readings we had been doing. And then we
Hmm.
created a poem out of it, kind of through index cards. So I can read you.
Amazing. Please, please read us the
It's
poem.
collaborative. Shout out to Sky Lewis. I don't think
Shout
she's
out
on
to Sky
Instagram.
Lewis.
She's too cool for Instagram, but
Oh my God.
yeah. So this is our collaborative poem.
Okay, so ready.
Okay. Eating boundaries, always forward, ancient futures, dissolute growth, eager, industrious, unkempt, connective intelligence, opening large upon itself.
I really want to. Can you send that to us? Like, and we're gonna post. Can we post that if you send it to us? Obviously,
Yeah,
like
for
we'll
sure.
credit you guys, and we'll credit the Mycelium.
Yeah, I feel like the reishi should be in the frame for
Can
this.
you read it once more, please? Just
Yes,
that needs a
absolutely.
second reading.
Okay. All right. Eating boundaries,
Eating boundaries.
always forward,
Always forward. Yeah.
ancient futures.
Ancient Future. My friend has a company called Ancient Futures.
No
Yeah. I'll put you in touch. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mila and Oki. Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
If,
Dissolute growth,
okay, just the growth.
eager, industrious, unkempt.
Um, yeah, those can fit together.
Connective intelligence,
Yeah.
pretty straightforward. And then opening large upon itself.
For that, for sure.
Yeah. It seemed like the
Beautiful.
closer for
I
sure.
love it. I
Yeah.
love that so much. Wait, can I ask you
Yeah.
something? Also, thank you for sharing that. I'm so stoked. Um,
Oh yeah.
I read in
Mhm.
your bio that you're a non-student of a non-school of a non-something. So, anyway, can you, what is a non-student? Can you tell us?
Yeah. Sorry, that was a little cheeky. Yeah, this group called Invisible College, and it was something I was much more involved in during the pandemic. But it's run by a poet named Ariana Rines, who's
Mm,
amazing. You guys should definitely check her out. She's such a good writer. She's a really interesting human being, and she conceived it as a space for people to gather and look at sacred texts and poetic texts,
mm,
study them in a kind of inclusive,
mm,
collaborative way. And so I think the non-school, non-student, she was kind of positioning this as like, okay, this is kind of like school, but it's
mm.
not the school that you maybe,
Right.
it's the school you wish you'd had
It's
maybe.
like an open,
Um,
welcoming, non-judgmental space. That's what I'm imagining when you're talking about it.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it, exactly. And it was all online, so we would meet on Zoom and discuss these different texts.
Mm,
Uh, and yeah, really beautiful
cool.
space. I haven't joined in a while, but I think it's still going as
Mm,
far as I know. Yeah, and it just really helped kind of get the poetic juices flowing and introduce me to some really interesting work.
cool.
Yeah. Invisible College.
Invisible. I love it. Oh, Rachel, I'm just so happy to. Yeah, I know. I think that should be in the frame. This whole conversation for sure. I think Rachel is a mushroom, and you know that already. We were in a line. I just want to tell people, like, we were in line a couple of weeks ago at an en route with Jess and Lauren. I don't know if you're still there. It was for Jess's bachelorette. That's where I met Rachel. And we were in line at the en route, and we're like, everyone's like looking, like, where's Rachel? And I swear to God, out of literally nowhere, she just like sprouted, like right beside us, like out of thin air. We're like, she's like, oh, hi guys. And we're like, is Rachel really sprouting mycelium or flowering mycelium? And you're like, a piece of art.
Oh my God, that's so funny to me. I love that.
No, it's so
Yeah,
good. Aw.
I am a mushroom. I am a
I
mushroom.
think
Yeah.
so. That's why you felt the immediate, like attracts like, you know.
That's right. That's right.
And can you give us
Um,
one more up close of those mushroom paintings behind you? No, I don't want to say mushroom paintings
mhm.
because what do you call them? Because it's a mushroom painting sounds like you painted a mushroom, but these are not that. So what
Right.
would
Yeah, no,
you?
these are not that. That's a great. I gotta ponder that. Yeah, maybe we'll call them reishi tapestries.
Ooh, reishi tapestries. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
Go with
God.
that. So
I wonder,
yeah,
did you
you
say
can
those could work as
see.
sound panels? Because they're like
Yeah,
blocks.
they
That's
can.
cool. Hey, Ali, did
Yeah.
you hear that these can work as sound panels? Just saying. That's how you join. How cool would that be? And they're like beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, right. There's actually an Italian design company that makes them, but I think they're really expensive, but they're very, very beautiful.
Mm, mm.
Yeah. Yeah. They would be great lining a music studio. Just saying. Just
Just
saying.
saying. He's like, I got it. Oh my God. Yeah, feel free to ask any questions,
Yeah.
guys. Anything else you want to share about your work or anything that's going on or anything that I didn't ask that like you want to talk
Mm.
about?
Oh my gosh. I think I've had a great time. This has been lovely, and I think the mushrooms have had a great time too.
It was nice to hang
I
out with
can't
them.
think of anything. Yeah, but yeah, if there are any questions, like I didn't get super deep into the process because it's pretty technical and unless you're really interested, but if anyone is, wants to know more, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always
Yeah.
happy to talk about it and share. And yeah, open to potential collaborations also. Oh,
Allie's like,
okay.
can I eat the
Can
mushrooms from the face? That's what I asked.
I?
You
So
can
the
put them in a
answer
tea.
is yes, you can. You can put them in a tea. You could. grind them into a powder. They would probably help your immune system. It might be a good idea, with COVID circulating, etc., to incorporate some reishi into your life. What's the lifespan?
Of the paintings or of the mushrooms? I'm imagining of the paintings. He's probably asking about the
I'm
paintings.
imagining the paintings. Yeah, so that is an
Or
excellent
sorry, the
question. And
tapestries.
right, the tapestries. Yeah, excellent question. The answer is that I don't know.
I guess
It's
we'll find out.
I'm gonna find out, And as far as I understand, this material is quite stable if it's kept dry. So it
Mm.
could last for a very long time in a
Mm-hmm.
climate controlled environment. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
if I left it outside, it would start to decompose.
Right.
So yeah,
So cool.
TBD. Mm-hmm.
We'll find out in a
Yeah.
year when we come back and we go to your massive art
Right.
installation full of mushrooms. You're going to hand out mushrooms at the door. There's going to be mushroom tea, and everyone's going to
Yes.
sprout up. All the performers are going to sprout up like little pop-ups, like mushrooms, like, oh, flamenco dancer.
Yes.
Oh, belly dancer. Oh, violinist. Oh, wow, what's happening?
Oh my God, I
Depends
love this vision.
how fast we eat the Oh my God.
Oh
Exactly.
my God.
Oh, well, I can't wait.
Fantastic.
Rachel, you're the best. Let's see you
I
again
love
one
it.
more time before we go. But
Yeah, for
really,
sure.
like,
I'll
thanks for taking this time.
send this
Thanks for coming
around.
into your studio and showing us
Of
around.
course.
So
Yeah, this has
amazing.
been a real pleasure. Yeah, thank you for inviting me. It's a real honor to be here, and I'm so happy to, just share the good word, the good fungal word.
I loved every minute. And I'll see you on Sunday for Jess's wedding.
Yes, can't wait.
Can't
Yeah,
wait.
thanks everybody. Thanks for
Thanks,
joining in.
everybody. And we'll share this online. Go check out Rachel's work and go check out her website, rachelcrummey.com. I was going to say rachelcrummey.com, right?
RachelCrummey.com.
It,
RachelCrummey.com. And check out Fab Collab and Tamar,
uh,
Ilana,
thanks,
amazing
Rachel.
musician. Yeah,
I'm going to be at the gallery in a year when you put all your work on display. We'll convene.
100%.
I can't wait.
We'll
Thanks,
talk. We'll
Rachel.
talk. Thanks.
You're the best. Thank you so much. Have a
Thanks,
beautiful day.
guys.
Bye, everybody.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Oh.